What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Neon Motherfucking Trash. Tommy the Hammer, Johnny Rocket. We're getting spooky tonight on this Friday evening.
That's right, spooky season is upon us.
Oh yeah, we're about to get real spooky, dialing it all the way back to the 1940s. That's right, folks. We're going to be checking out this flick called House of Frankenstein.
House of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I've got this double feature here. This is one of the Universal Studios double feature collections. And on it has Frankenstein meets the Wolf Man, as well as House of Frankenstein.
So yeah, we're gonna go with number 2 here.
Yeah, why not?
Because, it's old Universal dusted off a couple of crusty oldies and slapped them onto a DVD like, somebody will buy this.
And I'm that guy. We're those guys, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we're dialing back some, this is, 80-year-old trash, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it's just you and me tonight, man. So we're going to get right into the flick here. House of Frankenstein, you guys know how we do this part. Check out that motherfucking trailer. Peep that shit. When we get back, you're going to know Johnny Rocket and Tommy the Hammer's opinion on House of Frankenstein. Boy, we really dialed up that stupid factor. We just got done watching the movie House of Frankenstein. I think we had a good time. At least I had a good time. What about you, John?
No, this is a great time. This is more or less what I expected it to be, honestly. Like,
yeah, just some old school, black and white, classic, gothic, universal monster horror. I love this sort of thing.
You realize, this was made in the 40s before they were really, cutting corners on things like set design or costumes. Like, everybody was full sending everything still back in the day. Like, this still looked really, really good. Like, they had been working in black and white for, a few decades at this point, so they knew a lot about, shadows and depth and things like that. And so the cinematography is great. Like, we saw so many sets, like, this is like, you said this is like pre-rotoscoping, right? This is before they did that. So, like, some of these, like, with that, like, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like rotoscoping. It was probably, like, projected. Like, we had, like, action in the foreground, and there was actually probably, like, a sheet behind them projecting something, like, vaudeville style.
Yeah.
They use a term, I don't know if we should say it here or not, because it's funny. It's so funny. Like, something, like, we grew up with, and it's like, I don't know, it's like, well, back in the day,
right.
So now, like, something that we've grown up hearing, it's the G word that refers to Romani people is now considered, like, a slur that's in that same vein of, like, that's actually incredibly offensive. We don't call people that anymore. Right. They use this term in this movie. And,
quite liberally.
Yeah, but then again, it's kind of a product of its time, but it's still, it kind of, I don't know, it's strangely poignant now, because you're like, oh my gosh, they really just kind of said these things back in the day, and it was like, that's just what you said, Gus. You called them that because that's what they were, And you're like, oh my gosh, Grandpa, like,
yeah, let's tone it down a bit,
And, like, not everybody from this part of the world is, like, this awful derogatory stereotype.
Right.
Like, it's not just black or brown people that be called stereotypical derogatory names like other people.
Right.
It's like, let's try to be better.
Yeah.
Right. Let's try to leave those archaic terms in the past.
Right.
And use something that's a little bit more, not necessarily like positive, but like truthful. Like, why don't we just call them from the place they're from? Why does it, how does it harm you?
Right.
To, like, use that term that they would prefer.
And that's very vindictive of 2025 society, especially American societies. Everything is so at odds and tumultuous, and sometimes when you look at where we are in society with these, social issues and whatnot. We have to, ask ourselves, how do we get here? And how we got here was old school, timey society, and here it is on celluloid, or in this case on DVD. Somehow they crammed Dracula, werewolf, Igor, Dr. Frankenstein of sorts into the film, and then you've got all these other characters kind of mixing around in this casserole of bizarre chaos, and it kind of works. Hanging out with Johnny here, we're having some drinks, watching some weird fucking old school horror movies. That definitely scratched the itch. So Tommy the Hammer is going to do the star count. I think this is one of my favorite offshoots. I mean, what with all the crazy monster cameos and that classic universal monster vibe, I feel like this is the perfect movie for the party, perfect movie for Halloween. It's good for kids because you got the spooky vibe, you got the horror vibe, but it doesn't full send anything too terrifying.
No violence, gore, none of that.
None
really,
of that, no. There's some adult subject matter, but it's alright. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
And it's a perfect opportunity to explain to your kids about the G slur.
Or maybe they already know about it, and then they'll watch this and be deeply offended. Who knows? Out of 10 stars, Tommy the Hammer is going to give House of Frankenstein. I'm sitting at, I really like this, flat 7.
Flat 7? Okay. Yeah, there was definitely, I would have liked to have seen, like, I don't know, I felt myself pulling a bit of a Tommy the Hammer, where I was kind of forming that star count scene where I was like, hey, okay, this, guy wants revenge on 3 guys, so we're gonna get like Dracula and Wolf Man and, Frankenstein's monster. Perfect. Each one of them is gonna bump off one of these guys he wants revenge on, right? And it kind of went down at first. Dracula gets one of these dudes. Dracula gets bumped off. All right, on to the next. But then we get both monsters next, and then he gets both those next dudes. I guess Werewolf Man does get the one, and I'm not even sure how they killed the other one. They just didn't even really show. I guess they just took his brain, and that was that. I don't know.
That was so... and then, too quick.
Yeah, it was just...
way too fast.
It was like, I guess, because it was so fast, that could have been that extra 10 or 15 minutes. Then, like, okay, let's spend a little bit more time with Wolf Man. Okay, yeah, you... Like, I'll kill this guy and I'll get you, I'll relieve you of your curse, and then he does it and he gets killed off. Okay, on to Act 3 now. Here's Frankenstein's monster. We're back at the lab. Things happen and it goes down the way it did. And it's like, okay, that's very apropos. Where the last guy, he thinks he gets revenge on, like he gets killed, but then Frankenstein's monster gets him at the end. Okay, I would have bought that, but yeah, but still, I mean, for everything that went into this and for as much entertained as I was, I'm maybe not quite a 7. I'm sitting at about 6.5.
But close.
For this, but close. This was still a solid flick.
I hope it's been informative. Until the next time, tune in to Neon Trash.